wonder, I've been thinking about this, like, obviously there are issues with what we do because we don't have quite the same level of checks that someone like the BBC does. Yeah. We don't have necessarily a team of lawyers. We can't afford it. We don't have a duty of care, things like that. Yeah. Policy, you hopefully you will take care of people who come on your show, we should do. But we don't have so much set up. But I think that is a problem with us, and we have to sort that out. I know Elon Musk is trying with his community notes, for example, as a sort of, but I wonder if that very policing system or whatever it is at the BBC and at all of these TV channels is what is causing such a grey blob of nothingness, because you just always have to push everything upstairs to the lawyers and maybe you check it with the fact checkers, they still get stuff wrong. But do you think that is part of the problem?
It could be, although I think it starts much more in a more fundamental way. People often, your average conservative would always think that when it comes to political bias on the BBC, that it's actually just about, you had 3 Labour people on and only 1 Tory. It's actually not really about that. What it is, it's not just about sort of balance in a kind of debating way. It's what you choose even to cover. So actually bias, political bias, is seen much more, if you like, by omission, in what is not shown, what is not depicted, what's not made into a drama, what is not on in a documentary. So I think it's the people making them, I think, will be, I think they're the problem, actually, more than the lawyers. I think that they push a kind of agenda. I'm not saying anything remotely that most people watching, I think, wouldn't know. It's just so obvious. And this is why I think fewer and fewer people are watching these channels.
And more are watching our channels.
Well, yes, let's hope.
Yeah, which is interesting. It goes to show, doesn't it? To an extent, we're trying to show what we really believe in. And you don't get into this. You don't get into YouTube because you want to become some sort of billionaire. It's not like founding PayPal or something. I don't know what. You do it because you're saying, there is something really missing on our channels. Yeah. It's just extraordinary that those TV channels don't rectify that by going, maybe we need to actually serve the people watching it.
You would think, wouldn't you? But the fact is, you see it's not just about technology. You see it in the decline in audiences sort of year on year. I think that the point is that people know what they're going to get. It's not just with television. It's the same with, I mentioned theatre, but it's the same with movies. I reviewed films for 20 years and, essentially you are going to get the same rough message from films, which is a kind of liberal attitude comes through in most films. And after a while, I'm not talking about Marvel here or whatever, but essentially, in films, dramas and what have you, it will be roughly the same kind of approach. And it's boring, and also it's people feel that they are being lectured. And you should think, I know what I'm going to get. Why would I bother to go and see that? Which is, I think, therefore, to get back to my original point about the arts, and indeed it includes broadcasting, they're sort of, if not careful, they're going to sign their own death warrant, It's not unlike when you see various actors like we've seen recently, during the American-US campaign. They don't just sort of say, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris or don't vote for Trump and all of that. It's not just. They also sort of manage as well to insult their audience. They manage somehow, they call them, or in not so many words, deplorables, or trash, or any of these things. Robert De Niro, you can tell, after a while you're thinking, you are, going to kill the goose that's laid your golden egg if you're not careful. People will stop wanting to give you their money.
Yeah.
And I think that might actually be one thing that's happening.
Something insidious about the way those actors do that, because they're so cordoned off in their society of, I was looking at John Cusack just yesterday. He tweeted something just screaming madness on Twitter about the capitalist this and that. The guy's worth $50 million.
Yes, yeah.
And that's not to suggest he's not, because you have money, you're not welcome to an opinion. Of course you are. But as you say, the way that he seems to hate his own audience,
Yes. don't insult your audience. It's the classic one. And they sort of do. And, oh, I'm going to leave America now. I'm going to leave because Trump's been elected. These sort of things. People look and think, well, why should I come and see you in something? Why should I come and see you out? Why should I listen to what you have to say? Why should I read your book? Whatever it is.